Happy Tuesday and welcome on in here to another edition of Sports Memo Today. December already. Second week of shows here for us in December. Have a happy Tuesday, which of course means it's Triple Play Tuesday right here on Sports Memo Today, and we're happy to be here with you. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, and I'll be joined by Pavlos Laguretos. We're going to talk a little World Cup with him, and then we head to the hardwood with our guy, Ronald Cabang, going to talk a little NBA and college basketball. Before we get into that, I want to let you know, with that Triple Play Tuesday, you can grab Capper, a.k.a. my guy, RC, Ronald Cabang. He's got a 5% NBA play going tonight when he talks basketball. You want to listen in. And then we got our Thursday stalwarts, Eric Pauly and Moneyline Matt, both with some big ticket selections as well. A 5-star college basketball play for my man EP, and an NFL early look play of the week for Matt Josephs. How about a 10-1 run for him? So you can grab those, just $5, all three of the plays. We'll talk to Ronald, see what he's eyeing for tonight. But first, let's welcome in the Greek god himself, Pavlos Laguretos, joining us here on Sports Memo Today. And Pavlos, I heard you yelling in Greek off air, getting ready to go here today, so I know you're pumped up. I know you're also pumped up for the World Cup. After starting a little rocky, it's been treating you pretty well, brother. How's it going?
To be honest, the match day one was just brutal for me. But once I got a sense of what these teams are doing, what the underdogs are doing and what the favorites are doing, match days 2 and 3, and even more so, the knockout round has been really, really good to me. Most of my predictions have been really, really on fire. To be honest, I'm plus 43 units in the last 5 days alone. Props have been doing nicely. Side bets have been doing nicely. Totals have been doing nicely, and I've already loaded a couple of plays for tonight's match, which goes live in about at 2 p.m. Eastern. And of course, I have a 5% in the quarterfinals, which you'll find at my page. Just go to sm.buzz/PL and you'll find all about it.
Love to see it, Pavlos. And yeah, he's not lying. How about those 4 and 5-star plays here in the World Cup? Just a mere 11-3. Yeah, not too bad there, my guy. So, hey, World Cup going to be off until Friday as the teams are kind of gearing up for this next round. Big-time upset that you had a winner in earlier with Morocco getting that goal. They take down Spain in PKs. And, man, after this knockout round started, we've already seen 2 PK games. Will we see another this afternoon? We'll find out. But let's start with this Croatia and Brazil game, because this one's going to be kicking off the next round. So Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, we're going to be having what seems to be a bit of a mismatch. Maybe one of these dark horse teams. Can Croatia keep the magic going, or are you staying away from either side and just looking for some player props?
Well, for this free play, I do have a player prop, but I also have a 5% for this match. It's been going really nice, as you said, with this 4% and 5% plays in the World Cup, 11-3 run. I'm looking to keep it up, guys, and but I'm gonna stay for a couple of prop bets for this match, and I'm gonna stand on Ivan Perisic. Now, this guy, he's now the leading scorer for Croatia in big tournaments. He was tied for first place in goals scored in Euros and World Cups alone. He was tied with a great Davor Suker, if you remember him from the Croatian team, from back in the day. But now there's a new guy in town, and his name is Ivan Perisic. He's been instrumental for Croatia in this World Cup. He has the most shots on target. He has the most shots. He already scored a goal in his last game against Japan. We had a nice prop on him to score. We also took a prop on him to have a couple of, just one shot on target, actually. So he paid us nicely, and we're going to keep on riding the streak, because there is a very, very good reason why I'm picking Ivan Perisic to have one or more shots on goal at plus 165. Of course, prices may vary. If you if you shop around, different sports books have different, different odds. But I found the best odds at Barstool Sports. Now I'm going to take again the one or more shots on target at plus 165. Now this guy plays at the left flank for Croatia. He's really going up and down that left flank. He's very capable with both feet. He can score goals with both legs. That's a really rare trait for soccer players to be able to score and pass with both feet. Now, he's been really, really good when he plays in that specific spot, because he's been used that by Inter Milan, by Wolfsburg, by Bayern Munich. He's played in a lot good clubs in his career. Of course, he's an aging player, but this is probably going to be his last World Cup. But still, he's been really, really good. And I wouldn't be surprised if he scored on Friday night. Ivan Perisic to score anytime is at plus 650 at certain sportsbooks. So I think that's a really, really nice price. But I'm going to take it very, very slowly and very, very, much more safer bet. I'm going to take Ivan Perisic to have one or more shots on goal at plus 165. We don't even care if he scores in that situation. We just want one of his shots to go on target, and I think he's gonna, he has an extra incentive of becoming Croatia's top goal scorer in World Cups with a goal. So I think he's gonna take at least a couple of shots, and I'm taking Ivan Perisic to have one or more shots on target at plus 165.
And at least for the free play, Pavlos, that means we get to use your line here that you like throwing out on stoppage time. Don't care who wins. But Pavlos and his clients do care who wins. You have to head on over to his page, sm.buzz/PL, to find out who he would like to win or which side is his favorite that he's looking for in that game. But looking at a player prop there, love that one, Pavlos. So let's stick on Friday with the games coming back and look at this Netherlands-Argentina game. Of course, I'm still ailing a little bit after my United States side didn't really even look a little bit good as they were taking on Netherlands. Now they face off against Argentina, who you could argue coming alive a little bit. Does Messi still have some magic in the foot? How are we going? Do we care who wins in this one, Pavlos?
No, and that's exactly my point. There are certain props, and they're available in most sports books. You can find them FanDuel, DraftKings, Barstool, you name it. There's, they have a lot of props, and you don't really need to sweat on these matches. So the prop that I'm going to propose for this match is taking the exactly 2 or 3 goals in the match at plus 100. Now, there are much easier ways to get paid in soccer, and betting on the exact number of goals is just one of them. Now, the exact number of goals, 2 or 3, it covers a lot of possible scenarios. It covers the 1-1 draw, which is a very possible scenario in this situation. It covers the 2-0 win for either side, the 2-1 win for either side, and the 3-0 for either side. So this specific prop covers a lot of possible scenarios. To be honest, I don't really think this is going to be a low-scoring match. I think each team gets on the score sheet, so maybe both teams to score is something to look at. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 1-1 draw, a 2-0 win for either side, a 2-1 win for either side, because, Netherlands, nobody believed in them when the tournament started, because yes, they had a rough time against Ecuador. They didn't really look good in that group stage, but the truth is that they remained unbeaten, and they conceded very few goals, and they just blasted USA. And to be honest, I actually had money on Netherlands to win in that match, because yes, they have a very, very nice squad, very young and very talented, but they don't have experience. And the lack of experience is what took them down, because Netherlands, they have also a lot of talent, even more so than the United States, but they have a coach that was, is one of the best in the business. So he came out of retirement in order to take that Netherlands side as far as they can go in this World Cup. So this is, probably going to be the best match to watch in this quarterfinals by far. The strongest, at least in my perspective, the 2 strongest sides. So I don't really want to pick a winner here. I can't pick a winner because it can go either way. It can be a Netherlands win. It can be an Argentina win. It can be a draw. So whenever you are stuck in a situation like this, you just have to take the exactly 2 or 3 goals prop at plus even money. Again, this prop covers the 1-1 draw, the 2-0 win for either side, the 2-1 win for either side, and the 3-0 for either side. So I like the exactly 2 or 3 goals at plus 100.
All right, so Pavlos, I just have two follow-up questions here for you on this one. And so the 2 or 3 goals, does this also add in any extra time or
No,
anything, or is this just in your regulation? So it's the same as
no,
if you were doing a 3-way line, correct?
it's just in regulation, and there are certain
Okay.
matches where the line is set at 2.5. So you say, I see this match being stuck in 2 goals or maybe 3 goals. Sometimes you just see, you can also find that in the NBA. You see a total
Yeah.
line of 155 and a half, and you say, I can see this both going over and under. So if there was a prop in the NBA, for example, that you can take a band of like a margin of points, like a certain, I would bet on it. If there was such a thing in basketball, I would bet on it. But in soccer,
Okay.
if you look statistically in the history of soccer, the 2-0 and the 2-1 correct scores are the highest hitting scores of all time. So this prop covers
Okay.
that. So I think this is one of the best ways to approach a match where you don't really know what's going to happen. I like the exactly 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah, and you kind of answered my second question right there. It's just how you see it working out. You just see statistically, you've seen scores land right in this corridor. Because I
Yes,
would
yes.
hear your breakdown, and I would look at 2.5 goals at plus 140 if you shop around and get that. I would lean on playing over that. But I understand what you're saying. If you end up getting a 1-1 tie, if you end up even getting a draw through where they end up going 0-0, then that one wouldn't be all that great. But if you're able to get 2 goals from either side in any type of
Yeah.
combination, I like the way you're looking with that. Interesting stuff there. So Pavlos, you're always looking at this stuff from a different angle. That's why I love
I do.
chatting with you. You are 11-3 in your last 14 World Cup bets, rated 4 or 5 or higher.
Yes.
You have anything up that you're getting pretty excited for when people head on over to your page over at sm.buzz/PL? Tell the folks about it.
I do have a 5-star or a 5% World Cup best bet in the quarterfinals. And to be honest, I'm going to have one package for each match where I do, I load all my props, goal scorer props, shots on target, foul props, corner props, and card props. So for now, I have just a 5-star World Cup best bet for the quarterfinals. And I'm going to be loading packages for each individual match. And maybe you can try me out for a 3-day with a 3-day or a 7-day all access pass. And I can guarantee you that you'll make money.
Love to hear it. That's my guy, Pavlos Laguretos. He's here, there, and everywhere. You can catch him usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays on Stoppage Time right here on Wager Talk TV. We talked about how it's the Triple Play Tuesday going on, and we'll be talking to Ronald Cabang here in just a second. But I also want to remind you about that great deal going on over at Wager Talk and Sports Memo. We had a record success with the Thanksgiving special that we ran. So the folks at the main office, our friends M2, Johnny Detroit, they all put their heads together and decided, why don't we offer the rest of the calendar year? Let people get NFL, college bowl games, NBA, NHL, college basketball, MMA, whatever sport your favorite handicapper releases, you can get all of them through December 31st for just $199. So that kind of access you want to get sooner rather than later. It's the best bang for your buck because your access starts the second that you sign up. So head on over, no coupon code needed. Just head over to your favorite handicappers page. You can use it multiple times on multiple different handicappers, just $199 every release through the end of the month. Why not end 2022 with a bang? Speaking of a bang, Ronald Cabang. We got you, Capper, joining the show here, RC. It's been a while, brother. How have you been? How's the court been treating you? You been running good, man?
Yeah, it's been an up and down season. A lot of the things, I think the last time I was here too, I talked about it. A lot of the games where I'm getting some plus CLV, I'm still losing. And, you
Yeah.
just hope to really see the right side of the game, continue to get CLV and see if it comes back around. But like yesterday, I had 3 games up. I think a total of plus 8.5 points of positive CLV, and they all lost. So,
Oof.
that's all we got to do. We got to continue reading the board the way that we have been. As long as we're getting the best of the number, hopefully things turn around.
No, I think it's a great point that you make. And for any of the novice bettors who are listening to them, when my guy RC is talking about CLV, that's referring to closing line value. So essentially what he's talking about is the bets, the numbers that he places his plays at end up being better than the number at the closing market. So if you have closing line value in the long term, that's one of the ways to nearly guarantee profitability in sports betting. But even those best plays, Ronald, are going to lose, a little
Yeah.
around half of the time. That's why these guys have different rated plays. Bankroll management is just as important as making sure that you're getting that closing line value. So just stay the course, my guy. You know that, as far as reading basketball markets, truly, Ronald Cabang, he does his own show with Capper. I learned so much from this guy about basketball betting. So, I say just keep staying the course, man. You're the separation is in the preparation. And I know my
Yes,
man,
sir.
Ronald Cabang, is hitting that. So let's talk a little NBA here tonight, 7:30 Eastern time. Heat are taking on the 6-19 Pistons. I was looking at this, speaking of closing line value, a lot of the times you want to study where line moves are going, kind of tells you where the money is, where maybe some of the respected bettors are, sometimes the public as well. Total opened in this one, 222, and it's just been under money ever since. We're even seeing some 220s out there, 220 and a half. So I don't know, RC, I look at that and I think maybe it has a little bit more to do than about the Pistons and that driving down the overall total. What do you think? You think the Heat can still hold up their end of the bargain? How are you going to be betting this one?
Yeah, this one's an interesting one because I was capping this game last night. I mean, obviously you mentioned Pistons 6-19 on the season. They haven't been great at all. They're coming off a double-digit loss to the Grizzlies on Sunday, but they are rested. And this is going to be their third game in 7 nights, so they're going to have some. They're going to have some fresh legs here compared to the Heat, who are coming off a loss to the shorthanded Grizzlies, where they put up just 93 points yesterday. This is one of the games that I got like 6 points of CLV on. I had them at plus money. I think it closed at like -4.5, but they still couldn't get it done. But this game here, I would expect the Heat to kind of bounce back offensively. One thing that I noted last night, I was talking about this when I was going through the injury report. I was talking to some of my buddies here. The Heat are one of the worst teams with the injury report on a daily basis. And last night when I was looking at this game, all they had were 2 players. Yurtseven was out, and Oladipo was a game time decision. And maybe like 3 minutes before the show started today, the SportsMemo Today show started, then all these injuries popped up. So this is the whole update. Jimmy Butler is out. Gabe Vincent and Dedmon are questionable. Highsmith, Robinson, Strus, and Harrell are all probable. So that could also be a reason for some of the totals and the lines moving in more recent, in the last basically hour or 30 minutes to an hour. So that could be the reason why the total and the line has been moving. But the look of the angle that I was looking at this game doesn't change too much because the line has shifted in the direction that I wanted it to anyways. So for this game, I'm looking at the Heat total over 113.5. It was 115.5 when I initially looked at it, but now because of Butler being out, it's down to 113.5, and it makes sense because Butler out means that their offense becomes less efficient. But the one thing to note is the Pistons have been one of the worst defensive teams in the league throughout the whole season, 29th in defensive rating. Pistons also in this specific spot as road dogs, single-digit road dogs, because they've been double-digit road dogs plenty of times this season, but single-digit road dogs so far this season, 0-5 straight up, 0-4-1 against the spread. But more importantly, they're allowing opponents to score 124.6 points per game in that situation. All 5 situations, all 5 games, the opponent went over their team total by at least 4 points. So the team total coming down to 113.5 does help me a little bit. Pistons, like I mentioned earlier, 29th in the league in defensive rating. They're just a bad defensive squad. Even though the Heat have been struggling offensively lately, especially yesterday when they put up 91 points, I think there's a bounce back spot here for them offensively. They get over their team total tonight, over 113.5. I think they can get it done.
Looking the team total over for the Miami Heat, 115.5. That's Ronald Cabang, one of our $2 Tuesday handicappers. You can head over to his page, grab his play for just $2. or why not throw in Moneyline Matt and Eric Pauly as well for another $5. Find that change underneath the couch, pony up, and grab all 3 top-rated plays right now. You can head on to any one of their pages or the SportsMemo.com homepage. So we talk some NBA hardwood. Let's talk a little college basketball. Rotation number 645-646. It's Maryland and Wisconsin, a 9 o'clock tip. Little late night special for folks here. A little nightcap total in this one that we're looking at. Open around 129. It's only climbed higher. I'm seeing some 132 and a halves out there right now, Ronald. So what do you think? You agree with that move, or you think that's just going to give us a little more value to swoop in on the under between these two sides? How are you betting this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to go to the under. I think I'm looking at both of these teams very strong defensively. So, yeah, obviously disagreeing with the total move there. But Wisconsin 6-2 on the season, a lot of it has to do with their strong defensive play. They also play with one of the slowest paces in the nation, which typically makes games very uncomfortable for their opponents. And that's why, the low scoring happens. But 13th ranked Maryland is 8-0 on the season. They've been one of the more dominant looking teams so far, both offensively and defensively, but primarily on the defensive side of the ball. Maryland really doesn't play with pace either. So 2 strong defenses, 2 slow paces. It made me look towards the under last night. I do think the total moved up from the open due to the last 2 games for Wisconsin going over by a pretty large margin. But both of the teams that they faced, Wake Forest and Marquette, both 2 up-tempo teams, and the Marquette game also went over because of overtime. It would have stayed under in regulation. But even after the 2 games, they allowed 78 points and 77 points to those 2 teams. They're still only allowing 59.9 points per game on the season to their opponents. So, and the other thing too, it's not like they haven't been battle tested either. They lost to Kansas by 1 point, and Kansas was number 3 in the nation at the time, and they held Kansas to just 63 points in regulation and only 6 points in overtime. So Kansas is, I believe they average about 78 points per game. So they held them to 17 points under or 15 points under their season average during regulation. Some trends to mention as well. Maryland 3-0 to the under this season when the total is under 140. Wisconsin 4-2 to the under when the total is less than 135. So when the books are saying that there's not going to be a lot of points scored in these games, they aren't really. One of the games that went over due to overtime for Wisconsin, like I mentioned earlier, with Marquette. So I think that the total really is kind of misleading here. The total is going to be low for a reason. I think the defenses and the slow pace, like I mentioned earlier, is going to be a sweaty game because of it. But Wisconsin has had 4 games so far this season stay under this total, and Maryland has held 4 opponents to under 55 points. This one, I feel like it's going to stay under 130.
And he mentions it might be a sweaty one. Who doesn't want a 9 o'clock Eastern time sweat? That's what it's all about, brother. So, hey, and with the money continuing to come in on the over, I don't know. Would you agree this might not be one that you rush to go and bet? Maybe see if this line gets hammered into shape. You might lose a half point here or there, but this thing probably stays right around 132, if not going higher, right?
Yeah, I mean, from my opinion, I think if we're looking at, I guess handicappers or sports bettors who look at recent form, when they look at the scores that Wisconsin has had, I mean, they've averaged, I think, over 150 or so, or 145, 150 in the last 2 games, and they see a low total like this. A lot of the novice bettors are going to run to the over. But if you look at the specific matchup and who they're facing, a strong defensive team, a slow-paced team, there's a reason why this total is low to begin with. So I think some of the novice bettors probably rush to the over early. And maybe later on we'll see some of that come back down to earth. Maybe it comes back down and closes at around 131 or so. That's the way that I would look at it. But for me, when I handicapped the game last night, I had it even under 129 and a half. So I'm pretty sure that I'm not sure, but I mean, as much as I can as a handicapper, I believe this is going to go under.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, too, especially when football is still rolling on, college basketball numbers can be some of the most volatile markets where it's not taking crazy bets to be moving these numbers pretty sizably. So, sometimes those line moves can be a little fugazi. And my guy Ronald Cabang saying, this money coming on the over, I don't know if they're getting to the counter with that one. Ronald, we talked about how you're our $2 Tuesday handicapper, one of 3 with the Triple Play Tuesday we have at sportsmemo.com. When people, right after they're done watching this show, of course, head over to your page, sm.buzz/RC, aka my guy UCapper. What are they going to find? And you have anything locked and loaded that you're getting pretty excited about outside of that $2 play?
No, I mean, I think I have a couple of college basketball plays. This one is actually the one that I just talked about was one of the premium plays as well. As far as the NBA, it's one of the games that I already got some plus CLV. So hopefully we continue to go in that direction and get the best of the number by the end of the day. But other than that, the spreads have been treating me well. The totals have not, and the the $2 Tuesday game is a spread. So hopefully we cash that one tonight. With everyone that's already purchased the $2 Tuesday game. Sorry. Other than that, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I want to shout out the NBA Triple Double show that I do with Matt,
Yep.
Moneyline Matt, who I believe is also a $2 Tuesday handicapper today. So you're probably gonna see myself, him, and we have a rotating guest panel. We had Joe D'Amico on last night. We have Eric Pauly. I think he's the other handicapper as well. He's also on the show. So that Triple Double show is probably one of the more popular shows on the Sports Memo channel. Hopefully you guys catch on and start cashing with us. We also have myself and Matt share a promo 7-day NBA pass for only $39, and the coupon code for that is hoops39. Myself, I know I haven't been on the hottest streak, but I'm still number 1 all time in the NBA profit for Sports Memo, and hopefully I just continue doing what I'm doing and things turn around like it has been in previous seasons.
Absolutely. That's my guy, Ronald Cabang, a.k.a. UCapper. And yes, he is correct. It is Moneyline Matt as one of our Triple Play Tuesday handicappers. They always got to get me because it's Moneyline Matt and Mid-Major Matt. They're trying to steal each other's market share right there. So yes, Moneyline Matt. That's Matt Kowalis, does a terrific job on that show with Ronald Cabang. Also, you can catch him on our UFC show that goes Thursdays here on Wager Talk TV. So it's UCapper, Eric Pauly, and Moneyline Matt Kowalis. Those are your 3 handicappers with 3 best bets loaded right now that you can get for just $5. You enjoyed the show? All we ask you to do outside of heading on over to sportsmemo.com and checking out all the great handicappers that we have over there is hit that like button, hop below, make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss any of our shows here at Wager Talk TV or Sports Memo TV. And that is a wrap. Huge thanks to my guy Pavlos Laguretos and Ronald Cabang. I'm Dan Alexander, and we will see you on Thursday with Matt Josephs. Yes, that Matt Josephs and Eric Pauly. We'll see you then here on Sports Memo Today.